Welcome to Prime Power USA, where America's biggest stories unfold. Stay informed, stay powerful.
Donald Trump Jr., who was in court again this morning. There he is. You hear the protesters chanting, crime family, and that is basically what these people are, a crime family, a very dumb crime family. The Gambozos, if you will, and I mean, that son of a bitch, you know, is really unbelievable.
Mr. Son of a bitch.
I mean,
Mr. Son of a bitch.
His loyal. Yes, yeah, no, I never imagined that we'd ever have a president like this, and I hope we don't ever have another president like this again.
What in the world did I just witness? Donald Trump gave one of the most bizarre and deranged speeches in the White House yet. This was for a Hanukkah party at the White House. Donald Trump started just making noises, bing, bong, bing, bong. Here first, let's play this.
But I watched him go, bing, bing. He went bing, bing, and two massive 100,000-pound bombs.
Next, he talks about his golden ballroom, and it's $400 million, and it's going to be such a grand ballroom. It's going to be impenetrable glass, he says, because
What's better than one viral clip of Jimmy Kimmel making fun of Donald Trump Jr. on live TV? Years of constant jokes and sharp criticism that have made Don Jr. a regular target on one of America's biggest late-night shows. And there's plenty of proof. To be clear, it's not just one moment, there have been many. This isn't just a single funny clip. It's a long history of Kimmel repeatedly roasting him. And the funniest part is that Don Jr. keeps saying and doing things that give Kimmel even more material, almost like he's helping him out on purpose. Do it.
Trump right now than Trump's most disappointing son.
And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Trump already beat Stormy Daniels in court? Like, in all fairness, like, isn't she like paying his legal bills or something like that? I don't know.
His hands move faster than his brain. They're like, I mean, what is it? It's like if Jim Henson had no puppets. How you doing over there? I'm doing real good. The important thing for DJ TJ isn't necessarily defending his father in the Trump family. What's most important is this.
The other thing that you should be watching is the insanity going on in the market right now. So I want to make sure that I take the time to tell you about another one of our great sponsors.
words coming out of his mouth about his golden ballroom. Play this clip.
I think it'll be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world. But I said, who else but in our country would sue to stop a $400 million beautiful ballroom that people have been after for the White House? The White House has wanted a ballroom for 150 years.
Again, I just want you to take a step back for a second, right? While he's doing this and bragging about his golden ballroom, unemployment ticked up to 4.6% today. Manufacturing seems all but in a recession right now. We're in a hiring recession in general right now. The only area where there's actual job growth is education and healthcare, two areas that are under vicious attack by the MAGA Republicans.
Now let's look at how Jimmy Kimmel kept going after the Trump family's oldest son, slowly turning him from a political figure into a punchline. When you see the full pattern, it feels like more than just jokes. It looks like a clear effort to call out what he sees as hypocrisy, privilege, and attempts to stay relevant. One of the harshest moments came in November 2025, when Democrats won major elections across the country, and many of Trump's endorsed candidates lost. It seemed like everything he supported was failing. During his coverage of the election results on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Kimmel delivered one of his most cutting one-liners.
Trump by 16 points. I'm at +3, he's at -13. It's nice, but it feels like, considering the fact that I'm not a convicted felon friend of Jeffrey Epstein, and I've never paid off or sent a team of masked goons into a park to pull an old lady away from her grandchildren, I feel like my rating should be higher maybe than...
Someone, by the way, who, if he was a king, probably would just reopen the government, but it hasn't worked that way. If he was a king, he probably would have never left the office the first time. If he was a king, he wouldn't allow his government to prosecute and persecute him.
This is what the American people are thinking about now. What the hell is he talking about? Here, play this clip.
For 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom. and we're giving them, myself and donors are giving them free of charge for nothing. We're donating a building that's approximately 400 million. I think I'll do it for less, but it's 400. I should do it for less. I will do it for less. But just in case I say 400, otherwise if I go $3 over, the press will say it costs more. I built under budget and ahead of schedule, right, Jason? Always.
It was a brutal joke. Kimmel said Trump hadn't been this embarrassed since he found out he had a Donald Trump Jr. In other words, he was suggesting that Don Jr.'s very existence was something his father might regret. That's not just a simple punchline. It's a sharp, personal insult aimed at their relationship. What made it hit even harder for viewers was the long-running public perception of the awkward dynamic between Trump and his oldest son, which made the joke feel, to some people, uncomfortably believable.
Junior was not at Daddy Donald's last night. The prodigal son was being grilled as part of the $250 million case against their business. There he is, tiny soprano. I wonder what's going through his head right now.
I should have worn makeup.
Oh, yeah, good one. Here's the thing about Don Jr. What he lacks in intelligence, he also lacks in charisma. So, and as with all cases involving the family Trump, DJ TJ was sworn in on an upside-down Bible. He will finish his testimony tomorrow, and then Eric will testify, and then Trump will claim he's never met either one of them. But it's getting serious. There's even some worry Don Jr. could be tried as an adult in this one. Trump was not there in person to support his sons. He had a Halloween party.
They're anti-Semitic. Here, play this clip.
That's no longer true. You have to be very careful. You have a Congress in particular which is becoming anti-Semitic. You have AOC +3. You have those people, Ilhan Omar, she hates Jewish people. And you have to be very careful because there's been a big change. You know, if you go back 15 years ago, I'm not Jewish, but my father was very friendly with many, many Jewish people, was honored by Federation. I would go with him to Federation of Jewish Philanthropies and many other things.
Then there's more discussion, if you want to even call it more.
Don Jr. has often been seen as someone trying hard to earn his father's approval, and Kimmel's joke played directly into that public image by saying what many critics already suggest. It was the kind of sharp roast that lingers, the kind of line that could stay in someone's mind long after the show ends. Moments like that are why late-night comedy can feel powerful, because it uses humor to question and challenge well-known public figures. And that wasn't the only time. If we go back to September 2025, there was another moment that added to the pattern.
This most recent video, I noticed something that I want you to take a look at.
We've seen the insanity of what's going on in the last few years, and we're just here to call that out.
Okay, now zoom in if you can, because he's got 2 empty frames on his set. Those are pictures of his friends. Showing off all the fun times he had with Dad when he was a kid.
He brings up Miriam Adelson, the billionaire who gave him $250 million in the last election. And she says that Alan Dershowitz is here. Dershowitz, who got the massages with Epstein, but says his underwear was on the whole time. Epstein lawyer, Trump's lawyer. And then she says, I'll give you $250 million, Donald, to run again in 2028. And then people start chanting. What am I even watching right now? Here, play this clip.
And now I met Alan Dershowitz, and he said the legal thing about 4 more years. And I said, Alan, I agree with you. So we can do it.
This is where Kimmel really went further. Trump posted one of his usual angry messages on social media, this time complaining about Cracker Barrel changing its logo. Some of his supporters got very upset over the restaurant's new design, and Trump even shared an AI video of himself dancing with the Cracker Barrel mascot, turning it into a dramatic show. Then Don Jr. joined in and tweeted, WTF is wrong with Cracker Barrel, acting like a regular guy who often eats at simple roadside restaurants. When Kimmel saw all this, he quickly jumped on it and used it as fresh material for his jokes.
The only thing that will make it worse is if somebody changed the lyrics to a song by his beloved Village People to drive it home.
Taco, taco man. Taco man. I've got to be a taco
This could be the new YMCA. They can play it at rallies. You can do TACO. Right?
So therefore, I like him. Here, play this clip.
And much more importantly, his much more brilliant wife. Where are you? There you are. Would you come on up here, both of you? Get up here. Get up here. Look, every Saturday, every Sunday, I'm forced to watch television to listen to this guy talk about how freaking great I am. Because he does like Trump. There's no question about it.
Then Donald Trump goes into a racist, xenophobic, and hateful attack against AOC and other Congress members and says, you have to be vigilant, you have to be careful.
Here's how Kimmel put it. He mocked Don Jr. as a cosplay grits gobbler, New York prep school Nepo baby, asking, WTF is wrong with Cracker Barrel, joking as if Don Jr. had ever actually been there. The joke packed a lot into one line. By saying cosplay grits gobbler, Kimmel was suggesting that Don Jr. pretends to be a regular small-town American, even though he grew up wealthy in Manhattan. Calling him a New York prep school Nepo baby was a direct shot at privilege, pointing out that Don Jr.'s status and platform come largely from being born into a powerful family, not from building something on his own.
Gwen Walsh, bye-bye Donald Trump. You know, it goes on and on. There's a list. We just put it out on X. All of these high-powered Democrat officials, the people that, we got to tone down the rhetoric. They're the ones doing all the rhetoric, Carl. But it's typical Democrat projection, okay? They accuse everyone else of doing the things that they're doing. They scream and yell just like they've been talking about democracy and calling everyone they don't like a fascist, while censoring, jailing their political opponents, and so on and so forth.
Imagine telling somebody that your money is tied up in Don Jr. gold, right? They'd put you in a mental hospital.
Think about it. Second. Yeah.
She said, think about it. I'll give you another 250.
I really do.
But her husband, Sheldon, was an amazing guy.
Then Donald Trump says that he's done so much for Israel that he has to read it. Look, I have pages, he says. I have pages. And he just starts pulling out pages. Play this clip.
Happy Hanukkah. And this is the first time that I've ever brought up notes to make a speech for. We call them the Christmas dinners. I call them the Christmas Hanukkah dinners, if that's okay. I hope you don't mind.
Kimmel's point was basically this. Don Jr. was born on third base and thinks he hit a triple, meaning he started life with major advantages but acts like he earned everything on his own. The joke about Cracker Barrel added to that idea. Critics often say Don Jr. presents himself as a rugged, everyday American, wearing hunting gear, posting gun photos, talking about football and traditional culture, while actually coming from an extremely wealthy and elite background. Kimmel's comedy focused on that contrast, suggesting that the regular guy image doesn't match the reality. And he didn't stop there. He also had more jokes about the Cracker Barrel controversy itself.
How you doing over there? I'm doing real good. The important thing for DJ TJ isn't necessarily defending his father and the Trump family. What's most important is this.
The other thing that you should be watching is the insanity going on in the market right now. So I want to make sure that I take the time to tell you about another one of our great sponsors, Goldco. Go to donjuniorgold.com to learn more. That's donjuniorgold.com.
Don Jr. Gold. It ain't real gold unless it's Don Jr. Gold.
When somebody can give you $250 million, I think that we should give her the opportunity to say hello. And Miriam, make it quick, because $250 million is not what it used to be. Okay? Hello, darling. Come on. Incredible woman with a great husband, a man that loved Israel.
Then Donald Trump said the reason he likes Mark Levin, that's how Mark Levin talks. The reason he likes Mark Levin is that every Saturday and Sunday I watch him and he says how much he loves me.
Kimmel even joked that Cracker Barrel was like Amish Applebee's or Applebee B-, making fun of how over the top the outrage seemed. But it was his line about Don Jr. that really stood out, the one that likely stung the most. Then, in November 2024, right after the election, Trump began talking about new tariff plans. He proposed a 25% tariff on products from Mexico and Canada,
plus an additional 10% on goods from China. Many economists from different political backgrounds warned that such high tariffs could raise costs for American consumers and put pressure on businesses that rely on imported goods. The debate quickly became heated, with supporters calling it strong trade policy and critics arguing it could hurt the economy.
As upset as his fellow Republicans pretend to be, no one is more perturbed right now than Trump's most disappointing son.
And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Trump already beat Stormy Daniels in court? Like, in all fairness, like, isn't she like paying his legal bills or something like that? I don't know.
His hands move faster than his brain. They're like, I mean, what is it? It's like if Jim Henson had no puppets.
I call them New Year's dinners too, but I've made about 20 of them so far. I never had any others. I brought this up. You know why? I've done so much for Israel that I have to read. Look at it. I got like pages. And I don't want to leave anything out. I don't want to leave Golan Heights out. I want to tell you what we did. But it's an honor to help. You have so many friends, and a lot of you are right in this audience.
Then he has Mark Levin, the Fox host. Mark Levin then shows up, and Levin's like, yes, we have the first Jewish president. Donald Trump is Jewish.